My basement leads straight to the cold palace. Every day, I bring food to a kid living there. Banana, apple, grapes, lychee, pancake, cola, KFC. Which one do you like? I'll bring you more of that. After high school, the basement was taken to pay off a debt. My whole family moved away. I got into college. The basement was bought back. I went back to that cold palace again. A gloomy man was standing in the rain, staring right at me. I held up a bag of chips. Want some? I'll share one with you. Back in 7th grade, I had a fight with my parents. Work. They're always working. No one ever plays with me. My parents finally gave in, and bought me an orange cat. The cat ran into the basement. I ran after it, and stepped right into a hole. Ouch! Someone help me. Dad, Mom. I called out several times. A rope was lowered from above. I tried a few times, but couldn't climb up. I couldn't get a grip. Couldn't climb. There was a moment of silence above. Then the rope was pulled back up, and a wooden basket was lowered down. I sat in the basket. It slowly rose up. This is kind of fun. When the basket reached the top, I poked my head out, and came face to face with a boy. Wow, you're wearing ancient clothes. They look really nice. The boy was fair and delicate looking, but had a stern little face. He tugged at his own rather tattered clothes. I shouldn't have saved you. I jumped out of the basket. Only then did I see clearly. It was a well. Weeds grew all around. There were wooden buildings too. This isn't my house. I looked around curiously. Hey, where is this? The boy had long lost interest in me. He sat down on the doorstep. Cold palace. Weren't you pushed into the well by someone? No. I copied him and sat on the doorstep too. My cat fell in here. I fell in trying to find my cat. Have you seen my cat? No. The boy didn't want to talk, but I was excited, looking around. I've never been to this place before. It can be my secret base. There's even a swing. My parents never bought me one. I sat on the swing. He watched me. It's the first time I've seen someone who can still have fun in the cold palace. As long as I don't have to do homework, I'm happy. He asked, "What's homework?" You don't know what homework is. I ran over, squatted in front of him, propped my chin, and looked at him. Are you a rich kid? You don't have to do homework. What's a rich kid? A rich kid is someone who's very, very wealthy, he said. Then I'm not rich. I patted his shoulder. Me neither. Which palace are you from? I haven't seen you in the cold palace before. He asked me warily. I'm from the warm palace. They don't have air conditioning here. It's the cold palace. My home has air conditioning. It's not cold. It's the warm palace. There's no warm palace in the palace. How would you know? You're so young. Let me test you. Do you know if the earth is round or flat? Does a light year measure time or distance? He looked confused for a second. How many interpretations does she have? See? You don't know. That proves the warm palace does exist. You just don't know about it. He seemed convinced. I reached out my hand, smiling. I'm Lin Yinluo, 11 years old. Class 1, 7th grade. What's your name? He paused. You don't know who I am? You never told me. How would I know who you are? He pursed his lips. Xiaoshen. I put his hand on mine. He tried to pull it back. I grabbed it again. We're friends now. Too bad I didn't bring my phone. Otherwise, I'd show them how good looking you are. He lowered his gaze, lost in thought. My stomach suddenly growled. I awkwardly patted my stomach. Hungry. Got anything to eat? I don't want to go back yet. If my parents catch me, I'll have to do homework. He pursed his lips, went inside and brought out half a steamed bun. The surface of the bun was even blackened. I was shocked. Your parents treat you so badly. You eat this, you'll get sick. My eyes lit up, looking at him. Have you ever had KFC? It's Thursday. My treat. What? As soon as I said that, I jumped into the well. He panicked and tried to grab me, but the rope tied to the wooden basket slipped quickly through his fingers. Lin Yinluo, pull the rope up. Only the wooden basket was at the other end. No one was there. You said you'd be my friend. Liar. I came out of the basement. Sure enough, my parents caught me. Where have you been? Is your homework done? I hung my head. I don't want to do homework. But it's Thursday. Buy me KFC, and I'll finish my Chinese and math papers. My dad patted my head. Deal. I'll order now. When you finish, that's when we eat. I finished quickly, then got some fruit from the fridge. It was getting hard to carry. A sudden feeling of falling and weightlessness. Hey, Xiaoshen, I brought lots of food. Pull me up. I yelled for a long time. My voice was getting hoarse. I almost fell asleep. Finally, I heard a sound from above. Xiaoshen, pull me up. A wooden basket was clumsily lowered. It rose slowly. Geez, you're so weak. I poked my head out. I saw a lot of blood on his forehead. His already worn-out period clothes are even more tattered now. I don't know whether to feel bad for his forehead first, or for his clothes. I was only gone for a bit. What happened to you? Did someone bully you? I put the food on the ground. I mimicked how my parents took care of me. I wiped his forehead with a tissue. He shook his head. It's nothing. He stared straight at me. 2 days. I thought you. 2 days. But it's only been 2 hours. I jumped into the well earlier to look for you, but I couldn't find anything. How did you appear? I winked at him. That's not important. Look, this is KFC. It'll get cold if we wait any longer. I laid out the burger, the popcorn chicken, the chicken wrap, fries, and more in front of him. Lychees, grapes, and bananas were placed to the side. He looked at it all in surprise, muttering, "A steed raises red dust." The consort smiles. None know that lychees have arrived. Such precious things. How do you have them? Who are you? Ha! I peel a lychee and pop it in my mouth. This isn't expensive. Bananas are $2.50 a pound. Lychees are $6 a pound. Grapes are $5 a pound. Cheaper than what you're wearing. You're not eating. He watches me eat. He swallows hard. Then he picks up a lychee. He eats it slowly and deliberately. Seeing him enjoy it, I feel inexplicably happy too. I smile at him. You like them? I'll bring more next time. After we'd eaten our fill, he somewhat awkwardly takes off a jade pendant he's wearing. He hands it to me. This is for you. I accept it without ceremony. Wow. It's jade. Not sure if it's real, but it's beautiful. The front is engraved with the character, Shao. I think for a moment. I give him a gold-plated silver longevity locket my mom gave me. I give it to him. This is for you too. An exchange. For the next few months, whenever I had time, I'd go to the basement, through to the cold palace to find Xiao Shen. He always seems to have been waiting for me for a long time. Then he approaches me with a mix of joy and restraint. You're here. This time, I'm not gonna wait for him to pull me up. I'll climb up myself and surprise him. As soon as I climbed up, I saw some adults with a few kids, barging into the cold palace, kicking the door in. Xiao Shen, Prince Xiao. I heard someone say, they found meat bones in the cold palace. You stole them from the imperial kitchen, right? Aren't you scared of getting your fingers chopped off? Or do you want to end up like your mom, torn apart by wild dogs, beheaded? The cold palace door was kicked open. Xiao Shen was holding a kitchen knife, staring at them. If you want to accuse someone, you'll always find an excuse. Put the knife down. Get beaten up by us like before. We might let you off. One guy disarmed him. Another held his head down. Another stepped on his shoulder. Another slapped him like crazy. Another got on top of him. Another made him crawl between his legs. I have no idea what was going through his mind. How desperate he must have been when he looked at that well. I pulled out a lighter and lit the house next door on fire. Yelled at the top of my lungs. Fire. They took off. I found out that Xiao Shen's birthday was coming up, and even made a cake for him, bought candles, and planned to celebrate it with him. Once he was settled, I pretended to climb out of the well. I wasn't sure if you still celebrated your birthday, so I held the cake out to him. Want some cake? I lit over a dozen candles with a lighter. Now, make 3 wishes, and blow them all out in one breath. They'll all come true in the new year. Anything can come true. Then I wish I could see you forever and ever. That's my wish. As long as my basement is still there, I can come see you every day. Any other wishes? He shook his head. No, my mother is already dead. I don't have any other wishes. You're so easy to please. I put my hands behind my back and swayed my head. I have tons of wishes. I don't want to do homework, but I still want perfect scores. I want to get into a good college and make lots and lots of money. The stars are practically popping out of my head. I have to get back soon. I left the lighter with him. This can make fire. Next time, I'll ask my mom to buy me pepper spray and a stun gun. They're really useful. Also, the corner of your mouth is split. You need some ointment. Wait for me to come back. I secretly used my mom's phone and looked up what a cold palace is. I also looked up Xiao Shen before I could find anything. I got caught. Have you finished your homework? And you're still on your phone? Phones are like digital poison. You can't touch one until you get into college. I sheepishly put the phone down. I was just looking. Has the pepper spray and stuff arrived yet? She looked at me suspiciously. Did your teacher really tell you to buy it? I lied through my teeth. Everyone else has one. I'm the only one who doesn't. My birthday is coming up. What's wrong with buying me something? You guys don't care about me at all. Whenever I fake cried, I could get pretty much anything. As soon as the package arrived, I couldn't wait to take it to the basement. I'd call out, Xiao Shen, and a wooden basket would come down. Back then, we were so happy, thinking that moment would last forever. We never doubted that the other would always be our best friend, always by our side. Xiao Shen's resistance only provoked a harsher crackdown. Someone even reported it to the emperor, accusing him of conspiring with dark forces, practicing dark arts, and he was given an even more severe punishment. Every time I went to see him, he never told me about it. Every single time, he just wore this calm, serene, restrained, almost joyful expression. Occasionally, I'd catch someone bullying him. I'd help him in secret. Then, the last time I went, people said the cold palace was cursed, that his deceased mother's spirit was haunting it. They proposed to burn the cold palace down and fill in the well. That day, I had just peeked out when Xiao Shen pushed me back down. Don't come here anymore. They're going to fill the well. I'm afraid you won't be able to get out, and I'm afraid you won't be able to go back. After all this time, it was the first time I saw him cry. I wanted to comfort him, but he pushed me down again. They're coming. I can't stop them. I'm sorry. I watched as the cold palace went up in flames. I watched as he was dragged aside. I watched him clenching his fists, gazing at the fire, gazing in the direction of the well. But in those eyes, there was something that didn't belong to a child. I saw someone carrying a huge rock over. I couldn't wait any longer. I jumped down. When I woke up again, I tried many times to go back to the basement, but that feeling of weightlessness was gone, and the well never appeared again. I never called for Xiaoshan again. I was in a daze, running high fevers several times, delirious, muttering all sorts of nonsense. Some said the feng shui here was bad. My parents' business started failing too. After my high school entrance exams, they sold the house. I went somewhere else for high school. Once I started high school, the workload got heavier. I forgot about the basement. And gradually, I forgot about Xiaoshan too. I even started to think it was just a dream I had. During my awkward teenage years, a basement connected to the cold palace, interacting with Xiaoshan from the cold palace, outsmarting the people who bullied him. There's no way any of that could be real. That jade pendant, it's like my memory, left forgotten in a corner. After the college entrance exams, I stretched my arms wide and started planning my future. While cleaning my room, I found that pendant. I was stunned for a long moment. Xiaoshan, who is that? After the exams, I got my first cell phone. I started searching online. Xiaoshan, the most notorious tyrant in history, killed his father and usurped the throne, never took an empress, died at 25 years old, the first emperor in history to be buried in the cold palace. A tyrant, that seems a bit ominous. I also found an old diary I wrote when we moved. It got caught in a downpour. A lot of the words are smudged now. It mentions a basement many times. I must go back to the basement. The basement, in our old house. Was there anything special about it? My parents asked me what I wanted after the college entrance exam. Over the years, their business had been doing better. They even offered to buy me a house as a reward for scoring over 600 points on the exam. Suddenly, I thought of that basement. Mom, I want to buy back our old house. I went down to the basement again. I checked it out a few times. Nothing seemed unusual. I stayed at home for about 2 weeks. Then, during a heavy rain, a stray cat darted inside. I ran to catch it, barefoot. I was eating fries, luring the cat with my right hand. The cat ran into the basement. I followed it in. I suddenly felt weightless, and fell down. I yelled out in a panic. Dad, Mom, since when is there a hole in the basement? No one answered. I struggled and managed to climb out. I should have worn shoes. It felt like stepping into muddy ground, all messy. As soon as I emerged, the surroundings weren't dark like the basement. Instead, it was full of blooming flowers, lush and green. A building nearby looked magnificent too. I climbed out fully, and saw 2 women in ancient-style clothing pruning the flowers. No one even lives in this cold palace anymore. Yet it's maintained more meticulously than the Hall of Mental Cultivation or the Imperial Garden. This is hardly a cold palace anymore. Ever since the new emperor ascended the throne, this place feels more like the main hall than the main hall itself. Who knew there was such a nice spot in the basement? No wonder I always wanted to come here as a kid. Oh no, it's starting to rain. Raindrops begin to patter against the ground. It's getting heavier. Pitter-patter. I take shelter under the eaves. The 2 women trimming the flower bushes glance at the downpour. We should head back quickly. When His Majesty comes to the cold palace, he doesn't want to be disturbed. The last person who dared to disturb him was beaten to death with clubs. What, His Majesty? This filming location is pretty authentic. Because of the rain, the camera crew probably hasn't arrived yet. A figure suddenly emerges through the curtain of rain. A black oil paper umbrella, cloaked in a black cape. They stand still outside the palace. I wonder what they're looking at through the rain. I looked him up and down. He's so tall. Is there anyone in the domestic entertainment industry this good-looking and with such poise? And the melancholy seems innate. I'm itching to take a picture with my phone. I just watched quietly. A gust of wind blew by. My clothes were damp, and I wasn't wearing shoes. I'm a bit cold. I rubbed my arms, stomped my feet. His gaze suddenly fell on me. He stared at me for a long time, as if unwilling to blink. Only then did I clearly see his eyes. His eyes were filled with shock. He raised his hand, and gently clenched it in the air, as if trying to grasp something intangible. All I have left are these fries. I looked at him, my eyes crinkled into a smile. Want some fries? I can share half with you. He tossed the umbrella aside, and picked me up. His steps were steady yet swift. I could hear his heart pounding fiercely. His arms held me tightly, as if afraid I'd run away. No, being carried by a handsome guy is quite the experience, but this is getting way too weird. Handsome guy, what's your name? He looks down at me. Xiaoshan, that infamous tyrant from history. He's the actor playing Xiaoshan. Why don't you ask for my name? Your name is Lin Yinluo. Lin Yinluo. I've always remembered. I've always remembered. How does he know my name is Lin Yinluo? Why are his eyes getting red? A soft plop. A teardrop falls onto my wrist. He's crying. He's really deep into character. He can cry on cue already. He's been holding me close in his arms. My face feels a bit warm. I tap his chest. You can put me down now. I can walk on my own. No. He's stubborn. He carries me for who knows how long. until we reach the entrance of Yangshin Hall. He wants to help me bathe. Now that's crossing a line. Some handsome guys really are cheap. Hold on. I can bathe myself. You're a mess yourself. Your wig is all wet and dirty. I gave it a tug, and it's real hair. I looked at this grand palace, and all the people bowing respectfully to him. Then I saw the dazzling array of items that looked like precious items of fine material. I tentatively asked, "The camera, are we still filming?" He looked a bit confused, so I just asked directly, "Where is this?" "My palace." My eyes widened. "You're Shaoshan." What year is it now?" "Year 17 of the Shao dynasty." I lay in the bath. The sheer curtains swayed. It suddenly dawned on me. This might be an ancient world without Wi-Fi, no internet, and even no electricity. Shaoshan will die at 25, which is year 18 of the Shao dynasty, next year. But why is he being so nice to me? Like he knows me. I've never met him before. Shaoshan doesn't mind me watching him bathe at all. If there's a free show, why not take a look? I half cover my eyes, half peeking. I gulp. Shaoshan has left the empress position vacant, and never takes concubines. What a waste of such a handsome face and great body. I suddenly notice a longevity lock hanging on his chest. Wait a minute. I rush forward, pick up the longevity lock, and examine it closely. My name is engraved on this. This is mine. Mom said she gave me a longevity lock before. I lost it. I didn't believe it, so it really was lost. Thousands of years ago, with Shaoshan. How strange. How did this longevity lock end up with you? Shaoshan tightly grabs my hand. You forgot me. Is that so? So that's why you never came to see me. A full 12 years. He lets go of my hand again. It's not your fault. I was the one who had that well sealed for 5 years. 5 years. Shaoshan suddenly coughs up blood. He tightly grabs my hand. Can't you stay? Staying is definitely not an option. In another year, the Shao dynasty will fall. Shaoshan will die. Unofficial histories say, Shaoshan took his own life in the cold palace. He had a chance to leave and make a comeback, but he chose to die in the former cold palace. The dynasty changed hands quietly. And then, there are no comics here. No novels. No phones. No computers. So boring. I can't stand it. His hand clenched tighter and tighter. The moment I show any sign of refusing, he coughs even harder. Fine. I won't go. He nuzzled against me. Why does he give off such a younger energy? He's several years older than me. After dragging on for nearly 2 days, he's still sticking by my side, with 2 guards watching me too. I can't even sneak home. Shaoshan is still draping a robe over my shoulders. He tirelessly brings me things, helps me get dressed. This time, I grabbed his hand. Shaoshan, I can't stay here any longer. I need to go home. Let me go home. Shaoshan stared at me intently. After a long while, he said hoarsely, I was suspicious. That easy, then all my earlier hesitation, all that worrying for nothing. I followed him eagerly to the cold palace. I looked up, but the plaque didn't say, cold palace. Instead, it read, warm palace. Warm palace. After I ascended the throne, I had it rebuilt, renamed it Warm Palace. You said, you lived in the Warm Palace. So I thought, if I had a warm palace too, maybe you'd come back. And now you're really here, but you're leaving again. Suddenly, he made me feel like some heartless scoundrel. I cleared my throat lightly. This isn't a place I can stay for long. Shaoshan, you're a good person. These past few days, I've been really happy. Goodbye. And also, you're very handsome. You're the most handsome person I've ever seen. After saying that, I jumped into the well, but there was no feeling of weightlessness. I stomped my foot in confusion. I called out, Dad, Mom, I don't remember there being a well in that basement. After a long while, Shaoshan poked his head out of the well. A smile reached the corners of his eyes. Need some help? Why is Shaoshan still here? I can't go back. I was getting annoyed. Shaoshan tried to comfort me. If you can't go back, just stay here. You can stay as long as you like. I shot him a glare. He cleared his throat. You'll get back. I'll come here with you every day from now on. How could you not go back? I didn't notice. Shaoshan was looking at me, his face full of smiles. I turned back, and caught him red-handed. I can't go back. And you're happy about it? Shaoshan nodded, then shook his head. You don't remember me. I don't blame you. What? He opened his palm. In it lay a gold-plated silver longevity lock. This is the token of our love you gave me. Can't argue with that, because on this longevity lock, my name really is engraved. And I just happen to have his jade pendant, with Shaoshan's name on it. It looks exactly like a token of love. It's just, I don't remember a thing. I forgot. That doesn't count. Shaoshan takes my hand. I don't care. I just hope you won't push me away. We once promised each other to always meet again, to always be together. His palm is broad and warm. I'm not comfortable. I try to pull away, but he holds on tighter. He looks down at me. His eyes hold a mix of sorrow and hurt. You hate me. I don't. I weakly protest. Shaoshan's eyes light up. He laces his fingers with mine. Fine, fine. I tell myself. It's just holding hands. It's not like I'm losing anything. Holding hands is fine. But, it's a bit much to share a bed at night. Men and women shouldn't be too intimate. However, we've already promised to spend our lives together. When? In a dream? I don't remember that. So it doesn't count. In the end, Xiaoshan still had another bed brought in. I turn over, and I can see his tall, straight nose, and those finely carved brows and eyes. This really feels like a dream. Dreaming of someone this handsome. I actually refused to share a bed with him just now. I guess I'm the one being ungrateful. His brow furrows slightly, with a hint of worry. I'm staring, mesmerized. He suddenly opens his eyes. He smiles at me, caught again. I flinch and look away. In the past, you used to stare at me all the time too. I feel a little guilty. I can't stand him smiling at me like that. I snap back. So what if I was looking? You can look. My Luo can look all she wants. That gave me goosebumps. That night, but I slept soundly. I had a dream. I was a middle school student again. Just like this time, I came through the basement, and arrived here. Only it wasn't called Warm Palace then. It was called Cold Palace. Desolate and rundown. Not lush and green like it is now. Bursting with flowers. There was also a super handsome little boy there, also named Xiaoshan. We became very good friends, and we promised to be best friends for life. As long as the basement existed, we would always meet. He gave me a jade pendant. I gave him a longevity locket. I chased away the bullies for him. I gave him advice. Later on, the cold palace burned down. The passage to the basement was sealed, and I never came back. I suddenly woke up, in a cold sweat. Was it a dream? Or did it really happen? Xiaoshan is already by my bedside. He asks with concern, "Did you have a nightmare?" I look at him. For a long time. Did we really pledge ourselves to each other? Xiaoshan, are the jade pendant and longevity lock really tokens of love? Xiaoshan freezes for a moment. Then he says calmly, "Why wouldn't it count? We promised to be together for a lifetime. And you agreed." I didn't sleep well, because of the dream. I went back to sleep for a while. In my daze, it feels like someone is caressing my face. It's a bit ticklish. I try to swat it away. My hand is held down. A warm, damp kiss lands on the corner of my lips. I open my eyes wide. No one's there. "Miss Lin, His Majesty had business and left the palace. If you need anything, miss, just say the word." I gesture for him to come closer. Did His Majesty Xiao ever stay in the cold palace? Oh my god, the little eunuch dropped to his knees. That goes without saying. If this palace taboo reached His Majesty's ears, it would cost you your head. So, that dream was real. I came to the cold palace through the basement, and ran into little Xiaoshan, locked away there. Except I forgot. Guess I'm a bit of a jerk. That longevity lock is almost worn from his handling. I plan to make it up to him when he gets back. A little bit. Also, I used to think others' karma had nothing to do with me. Established history shouldn't be changed. But now I might have to figure out how to break Xiaoshan out of this certain death trap. Turns out, before Xiaoshan returned from court, the first to arrive was the Prime Minister's daughter, Guru Ashua. So you're the girl His Majesty brought back yesterday. Truly extraordinary. Historical records say, Guru Ashua is no good. On the day of the coup, Princess Xiao Chang was forced to slash her own face 300 times. The Prime Minister's estate was one of the forces behind the coup and usurpation. You flatter me. I was cold and distant, but she didn't even flinch. Still smiling faintly. 3 days later, there will be a banquet in the Prime Minister's estate's rear garden. I hope my sister can attend. Next time. For sure. I used my poor health as an excuse to see her out. Who would have thought? The next second, another person barged in. Which imposter is bewitching Brother Xiao? Get out here. The moment I saw her, I was taken aback for a moment. Princess Xiao Chang was utterly obsessed with her brother, because she was lost among the commoners in her early years. Xiaoshan found and brought her back. Everyone else isolated and shunned her, so she became extremely dependent on Xiaoshan. On the day of the palace coup, Prince Daoyao ordered his trusted aide to take her away. She refused to leave, put on her finest palace gown, prepared to, after Xiaoshan's death, join him in death. But then I met Guru Ashua on that day, and subjected her to every kind of humiliation, even slashing up her face. Princess Xiao Chang. I was taken aback. A whip came lashing toward me, shattering the vase in front of me. Another whip strike came. A man in black suddenly appeared, and intercepted the whip. Princess, His Majesty forbids harming her. Xiao Chang was on the verge of rage. Li Wu, step aside. Would you defy me? For this woman, Li Wu, wasn't in the room earlier, yet suddenly appeared. He was a hidden guard left by Xiaoshan. Forgive me. Li Wu knocked Xiao Chang unconscious. Miss Lin, I'll take the princess back first. I'll return soon. The hidden guard protecting me had left, following the usual plot. Something might happen to me, just in case. I left a note for Shaoshan. Beware of the Prime Minister, the General, the Empress Dowager and the virtuous prince. The gauze curtain stirs gently. I slip the note under the mattress. I turn around, and 2 men in black drop from the roof. He actually sent 2 shadow guards. Shaoshan himself has no one left to spare. He really thinks highly of her. Kill her. The Imperial Astrologer says she's a major variable. If Shaoshan's assassination attempt succeeds, we can move our plan forward. He even sent someone to assassinate Shaoshan. A dagger presses against my neck. I close my eyes. The blade cuts into flesh, but I don't feel much pain. Is this what ancient assassins are like? Killing without pain? I open my eyes, and meet a pair of smiling, peach blossom eyes. I'm terrified. I watch him warily. Who are you? The bodies nearby have already been cleared out. He leisurely wipes the blood off his folding fan with a handkerchief. My royal brother was attacked, yet he sent me to check on you first. And sure enough, I found some trash. They dare to barge into the Hall of Mental Cultivation. Their audacity grows by the day. That folding fan. The ribs are made of fine steel. It nearly took a man's head off just now. I look him over. You are the carefree prince, Xiao Yu. He raises an eyebrow. Good guess. You're smart. After Shaoshan ascended the throne, there were only 2 princes. One was the virtuous prince, Xiao Ling. The other was the carefree prince, Xiao Yu. The virtuous prince was not virtuous. After forcing his way into the palace and usurping the throne, he became the new emperor. And the carefree prince, Xiao Yu, while protecting Shaoshan, was pierced by 10,000 arrows. This man is on Shaoshan's side, and he calls Shaoshan, brother the emperor. So he can't be Xiao Ling. That only leaves Xiao Yu. What happened to Shaoshan? I'm getting a little nervous. He raises an eyebrow at me. You're the first person who's dared to call my brother by his name. Outsiders all say he's a cruel and ruthless tyrant. Would it kill him to answer my question? You're worried about my brother? Silence means yes. TSK. I let out a dry laugh. Shaoshan will be fine. If Shaoshan was in trouble, Xiao Yu wouldn't be here shooting the breeze with me. Xiao Yu is obsessed with his big brother. He'd rather die himself than see Shaoshan get hurt. He snapped his fan shut. How interesting. No wonder the crown prince can't get you out of his head. A full 12 years. Just because he says it doesn't mean it's true. 12 years. From back then until now. The time over here has been 12 years. 12 years. And still surrounded by danger. Shaoshan is a pretty lousy emperor. But still, to go from that kid in the cold palace to reaching this height, that's not bad at all. Look at me, though. Moved a few times. Studied for a few years. Took the college entrance exam. Read a few novels. Lin Yin Luo. I turned my head. Shaoshan was standing outside the door. He strode in and held me tight. So tight. Come on. I'll take you home. His voice is a bit hoarse. What? I stop in my tracks. The well opening is sealed. I can't go back. We can go over there. He runs his thumb over the back of my hand. Yesterday, I rigged it. Lin Yin Luo. I'm sorry. Let me take you home. He rigged it. How? No wonder when he found out I couldn't go back yesterday. His eyes were even smiling. But now, why? Because it's dangerous. I'm not going back. Yesterday, I could ignore the course of history, my own survival. But today, I can't. The future. If I saw the Shao dynasty in the history books, Xiao Shen, who died young, Xiao Yu, Xiao Chang, would I have nightmares? The spirit of youth is a non-renewable resource. I don't want to live my whole life in the shadow of a potential risk, letting it cast a shadow over my entire life. Xiao Shen, if you want me to go back now, you'll have to kill me first, and carry my body back. Xiao Yu, having finished watching the drama from the sidelines, snaps his folding fan shut, and stands up. Your Majesty, when real danger comes, it won't be too late to send her back then. You've waited for 12 long years. This is only the second day. If you send her back now, would you be able to live with that? And if you could never see her again for the rest of your life, could you live with that either? I thought of what I read in the history books. Shaoshan chose to take his own life in front of the cold palace, rather than let others escort him away. The Imperial Astronomer said I'm a variable. Maybe with me here, fate can be changed. Before the outcome arrives, everything is still unknown. I never expected that when I woke up, I'd be back in my family's basement. Clutched in my hand was a note from Xiao Shen. These are troubled times. I will seal the well. If the situation stabilizes, I will reopen it. I give it 1 year. If, within that year, the well is not reopened, forget about me. Do not come back. Forget about him. I tried several times, but I couldn't get through. When I finally climbed out of the basement, my parents were looking at me with anxious faces. Luo, where have you been these past few days? At a friend's place. I quickly wolfed down a few bites of food, unlocked a shared e-bike, and headed to the city library. I was careless before, didn't look closely enough, and didn't do a thorough search. This time, I'm going to look properly. But for some reason, all the books about the Shao dynasty and Xiao Shen that were on the shelf before are gone. They were definitely there last time. I contacted the librarian. The librarian is Jiang Shua, my high school rival. Do you know where those books about the Shao dynasty went? Jiang Shua pushed up his glasses. Haven't you seen the news? Archaeologists discovered that the Shao dynasty never existed. Those books were all fiction and fabrications. They were recalled and destroyed. How can they be fiction? Then what about my experience years ago, and what's happening now? Is that all fake too? I still have the jade pendant Xiaoshan gave me, with his name on it. I rushed home in a frantic hurry, and opened the storage box. Inside was a gilded, faded longevity locket. No jade pendant. The Shao dynasty doesn't exist. It was all just a dream. How is that possible? All these days, I've been wandering the basement, but that feeling of falling through empty space never returned. Luo, why do you always go to the basement? If I said, I'm waiting for the person on the other side to pull me into a world from thousands of years ago, would they think I'm crazy? I searched online forums for information about time travel. Under a specific magnetic field, 2 timelines might overlap. A sudden thought hit me. What if my basement is actually the cold palace of the Shao dynasty from millennia ago? By some twist of fate, I crossed through time and arrived thousands of years in the past. I revisited a wild, unofficial history I'd downloaded before. It mentioned that the well in the cold palace often had strange occurrences, sometimes a strange fragrance, sometimes a strange stench, but when you looked down, it was completely empty. What triggers the crossing? Could it be a cat? I bought over a dozen cats. Didn't do anything. The longevity lock. I hung the longevity lock in the basement every day. Still nothing. It hurt so much, but I even drew some blood. Still no use. A long time later, it dawned on me. What was the trigger? The trigger was Xiaoshan needing me. Xiaoshan wanted me to go over. Years ago, he was alone in the cold palace. The other day, he was standing there, but now he doesn't want to. I spent the rest of the summer in a daze. School started. I went to the basement one last time, but the door to that other timeline suddenly opened. I jumped in without hesitation, and climbed out from the well opening. I stormed toward the hall of mental cultivation, ready to give Xiaoshan a good beating. Who does he think he is, making decisions for me? But the scene around me was completely different from what I'd imagined. People were packing up their things, fleeing. They're already here. Run for your lives. We can't hold them off. Has our year here already come to an end? Did the note I wrote have no effect at all? The enemy is at the city gates. Has Xiaoyu died? If Xiaoyu isn't dead, then Xiaoshan must still be alive. I searched everywhere, finally reaching the top of the city wall. Below the wall, Li Wu stood at the forefront, urging surrender. Your Majesty, you are not a qualified ruler. You cannot ensure fairness. You cannot eradicate evil. You merely hide from it, biding your time. I leaked your plans, and broke the seal on that well you reinforced, because I believe you are unworthy. Unworthy to be emperor. If she doesn't show up, it means she's forgotten you. If she does come, then you'll both die. 10,000 arrows flew at once. One arrow grazed my cheek, and embedded itself in the wall. Even though I had given a list of people to watch out for, I still couldn't change the course of history, because Li Wu turned traitor. Li Wu, I shouted down in fury. Traitor. Several gazes instantly focused on me. Xiaoshan, get out of here. Hide. Li Wu said to Prince Xian, Xiaoling, beside him. This is Lin Yinluo. Eliminate this sole variable, and the Shao dynasty will last for 1,000 generations. Prince Xian drew his bow on horseback. Tens of thousands of arrows flew toward me. There was no way to dodge. Lin Yinluo. I was tightly enveloped in an embrace. The arrows pierced through his body. Blood spilled from the corner of his mouth. He even raised a hand to wipe the blood that kept spilling from my mouth. Why didn't you listen? You shouldn't have come. I can't protect you. Ouch. I opened my eyes, gasping for air. In the dim light, I was face to face with Xiaoshan. A note appeared in my hand, and my longevity locket. I opened it. Lin Yinluo. 1 year. If things settle down, I will reopen the seal. If it remains unopened after a year, forget about me. Don't come back. I was back to the night Xiaoshan tried to force me to go home. With red eyes, I glared at him fiercely. I held him tight, burying my face in his chest, crying silently. After crying, I pushed him away. Xiaoshan, if you dare send me back again, I, Lin Yinluo, will never speak to you again. No matter what happens, I'll hate you forever. I went into the inner room, shutting Xiaoshan out. Xiaoyu slipped in. How did we get caught? Your Highness, what are you going to do? Are you still going to send her away? Xiaoshan holds the note. He glances into the inner room, and tears it to shreds. He looks at Xiaoyu. If you're bored, find something to do. Because I've personally experienced death, that heart-wrenching pain, and the scene of Xiaoshan's death. The city awash in blood. It's all still vivid in my mind. I've had several nightmares. Xiaoshan, I bolt upright in bed. I'm here. He comforts me. He looks like he hasn't slept all night. I hug him. After calming down, I open my eyes, and say to him, kill Li Wu. Why? Li Wu is forced to kneel before us. I, Li Wu, have been loyal and devoted, always protecting my master. Your Majesty, how many times have I saved you? Have you forgotten? Because of a woman. Because of a single word from Lin Yinluo. A dream. You want to kill me? Everyone looks at me. They can't accept killing one of our own for no reason. Better to kill by mistake, than to let go. I believe in my own dreams. Or rather, that heart-wrenching pain keeps it fresh in my memory. It truly happened. Li Wu, what do you think of His Majesty? How do you feel about failing the military exam? Do you think His Majesty summoning you, a failure, is a reward or a punishment? We could have just killed him quietly. But Princess Xiaochang caught us. Now we need a plausible excuse. His Majesty is wise and just. By summoning me to the palace, he prevents a pearl from being buried in dust. He gave me a chance to fulfill my ambitions. But that's not what you wrote to your family. I scattered his treasonous letter in the air. I should have been the top military scholar, yet my name was left off the list. A lifetime of effort, and I remain unknown. His Majesty secretly summoned me to the palace. That shows he recognizes my ability. The palace selection for the military exam. Someone was pulling strings behind the scenes. And yet, your Majesty is powerless. I could have been on that list. Return home in glory. I can't accept this. A ruler without authority. A ruler. If he's bound hand and foot, forced against his will, how can he be called a ruler? Li Wu's face instantly turned pale. Someone nearby let out a sigh. Li Wu, you're being foolish. His Majesty is our master. We swore an oath with our very lifeblood. What a damn master. Li Wu sneered. No ability, no connections. His mother was just a lowly, unfavored maid who died young. What right does he have to claim the throne? He's unworthy of the position. The throne should have gone to the virtuous prince. Xiao Yu's face turned cold. He opened his fan and swept it across Li Wu's neck. Blood splattered everywhere. You deserve to die. One threat has been eliminated, but my heart still isn't at ease. Xiao Shen, I left that note. Have you read it? What note? He asked. He said he never saw it, but I clearly hid it under the mattress. I looked through the bedding, couldn't find it. The note was taken, and Xiao Shen didn't see it. Who was it? These past few days, only Xiao Shen, Xiao Yu, Xiao Chang, a few palace maids, and the guards have been near. What's wrong? I forced a smile. Nothing. I took his hand in mine. Do you trust me? He nodded. Yes. Besides Prince Xian, Xiaoling, Prime Minister Gu Zhu, General Lu Xing, and the Empress Dowager, the sooner, the better. His pupils trembled slightly. He gently stroked my hair. Luo, are you still affected by last night's nightmare? I looked into his eyes. Just tell me straight, can you do it or not? If you need a reason, you can investigate. If you find anyone, show no mercy. Xiao Shen, if you don't trust me, then everything I'm doing ends here. When the time comes, I'm going back home. You're bringing about the ruin of the nation and families. A fate as painful as being pierced by 10,000 arrows. Good, he said. In official history, in unofficial history, among the common people, Xiao Shenjun is a cruel and tyrannical despot. But, in reality, his heart is soft. If he weren't soft-hearted, he wouldn't, after seizing the throne, still leave behind the Empress Dowager and Prince Xiaoling as threats. Just in case. I found Xiao Yu. Xiao Shen will die. Xiao Yu's smiling face instantly fell. You're cursing my imperial brother to die. This is the future. Not only will your imperial brother die, you and the little princess Xiao Chang will both die. He closed the folding fan. Looked at me. If you feel pessimistic about us, you might as well go home. Why do you think I was able to expose Li Wu? Because I have the ability to foresee. Why should I believe you? Xiao Yu narrowed his peach blossom eyes, looked at me as if sizing up a stranger. 2 days later, at the banquet hosted by the Prime Minister's residence, there will be trouble. And if I don't go, Xiao Chang will definitely go. She doesn't get along with Gu Ruoxue. She won't pass up this opportunity. And given Xiao Chang's temperament, you can't talk her out of it. I'm not worried about Xiao Yu not going. When it involves the safety of Xiao Shen and Xiao Chang, he won't act recklessly. I arrived at the Prime Minister's residence. Gu Ruoxue came out from afar to welcome me in. I've never seen His Majesty care for someone so much. Sister, could you share your secret with me? I looked at her. Kind, beautiful. She stiffened, because she's not genuine, nor kind. As for beauty, she's passable. Gu Ruoxue linked arms with me. Then I must also strive to win His Majesty's favor. A whip cracked through the air. It landed some distance from us. Probably just a warning. But Gu Ruoxue stumbled, and fell forward. She got whipped on the wrist. Tears welled up in her eyes instantly. She looked at the newcomer. Princess, I know you don't like me, but this is a banquet. Why embarrass me in front of everyone? Xiao Chang shot her a sideways glance. Who's trying to hit you? You threw yourself at me. That's a lie. People at the banquet started chattering. We all saw it. Your whip lashed out at Miss Gu. Miss Gu is the Chancellor's daughter, in the Chancellor's own residence, and you still treat her this harshly. It shows how you bully her normally. A princess raised among commoners, is simply uncouth, not as proper as the real thing. Xiao Chang tightened her grip on the whip. Gu Ruoxue gave a subtle, hidden smile. She stood up, with tears streaming down her face like pear blossoms in the rain. Please, everyone, don't blame the princess. She grew up without proper guidance. That's why she has this unruly temper. Someone snorted coldly. I'll be keeping my distance from her from now on. I'd be scared of getting whipped. I look at Gu Ruoxue. Why did Gu Ruoxue just lunge at the whip? Actually, that whip wouldn't have hit us. Xiao Si, the shadow guard Xiao Shen reassigned to me, steps forward. He takes Xiao Chang's position, follows the previous trajectory, and swings the whip. I don't move an inch, but the whip doesn't touch me at all. Someone questions. Miss Gu is a delicate lady, how could she have known? In the end, it was Xiao Chang who was domineering. She shouldn't have used the whip. I want to defend myself a bit. Xiao Chang steps forward. No need. She holds her chin high. I, Xiao Chang, don't need the approval of people like you. I remember a brief mention in the history books. Xiao Chang was lost among the commoners in her youth. She suffered greatly. After Xiao Shen escaped the cold palace, he brought her back, but she endured ridicule for lacking manners. Later, because of Gu Ruoxue, she was mocked and isolated by everyone. That's how she developed this aloof demeanor, just a means of self-preservation. The crowd disperses. Gu Ruoxue goes inside to get bandaged. Xiao Chang looks at me. I look back at her. Xiao Chang's cheeks flush a little. She huffs loudly. Don't think just because you helped me, that I'll accept you. I shrug my shoulders. Doesn't matter to me. The banquet hasn't even started yet. Xiao Si approaches me. Miss Lin, the little princess is watching you. I turn my head. Xiao Chang has already looked away again. Never mind that. I look towards a dueling platform in the distance. The main event is about to begin. This gathering was originally only for the ladies, but a few young masters and 2 princes have shown up. Prince Xiao Yu and Prince Xiao Ling. It was this Xiao Ling who stood below the city wall, drew his bow and shot an arrow, straight through Xiao Shen's heart. The 2 princes, Xiao Yu and Xiao Ling, are strolling through the garden. Xiao Yu looks at me from afar. Then he looks away. I don't care about Xiao Yu sizing me up. I've never even met him before. What are you looking at, brother? Is there a lady who's caught your eye? With a flick of his fan, Xiao Yu, when do you plan to take a wife, brother? Xiao Ling gazes into the distance. No rush. He wants to wait until the day of his coronation, to marry the love of his life in grand style. Thinking of this, historical records state, Xiao Ling once had a woman he adored. He kept her in a gilded cage, promising her the title of empress. But on the day of the palace coup, he used her as a bargaining chip, to threaten General Lu Xing. This was Lu Shi, the general's daughter, who had lost her memory. She died amidst the chaos of arrows that day. Xiao Ling was grief-stricken. For a year, he took no one into his harem. Yet, in less than another year, his harem was full again. Out with the old, in with the new. Rescuing the gravely injured Lu Shi before Xiao Ling could, and preventing the general from switching sides, would be the most crucial move to turn the tide. However, more details are not elaborated in the history books. She was like a pawn, a foil to the emperor's affection, the emperor's fickleness, and more tragically, the emperor's heartlessness. Alright, General Lu is truly a heroine among women. Someone is wielding a spear on stage. Lu Shi is full of vigor. The red-tasseled spear whistles through the air. Suddenly, the spear slips from her hand and flies out. It lands right in front of Xiao Ling and Xiao Yu. The crowd gasps in shock. Lu Shi panics and jumps off the stage. Xiao Si leans in close to me. Just now, I saw a stone hit Lu Shi, on the back of her hand and wrist holding the spear. The force was considerable. It was more than that. Lu Shi's hand turned black and blue. Otherwise, why would it have slipped from her hand? I sneak behind Xiao Yu. When Lu Shi bows to apologize, I push Xiao Yu out. Xiao Yu is caught off guard. He almost falls onto Lu Shi. Both lose their balance. In a panic, Xiao Yu places his hand on Lu Shi's waist. With a spin, Lu Shi lands firmly on top of Xiao Yu. Xiao Ling's face darkens with anger. I don't believe his so-called deep affection. Now he's getting close to Lu Shi. He just wants to gain General Lu Xing's support. He's been on the throne for a year, but hasn't filled his harem. It was only to placate General Lu Xing, who lost his beloved daughter. He meticulously arranged for Lu Shi's spear to land right in front of him. Now, Lu Shi's attention is completely captured by Xiao Yu. Xiao Yu looks a bit annoyed. No offense meant. Lu Shi grabs his collar and won't let go. You can offend me. Xiao Yu's looks are top tier. And he has this lazy, languid air about him. It's very attractive. In the capital, more people admire Xiao Yu than Xiao Shen, because Xiao Shen is rumored to be ruthless and cruel. But the carefree prince is different. Xiao Yu glares at me fiercely, accusing me of that push earlier. I respond silently. What? You don't like it? Lu Shi pesters Xiao Yu into exchanging tokens, and even sets a time for their next meeting. Only then does she go back to tidy her clothes, and tend to her own wounds. I saunter over to Xiao Yu. What do you think of the general's daughter? Xiao Yu closes his fan and looks at me. Just what are you trying to do? I just came to tell you. Lu Shi will have an accident today. Aren't you going to check on her? His expression turns serious. You don't have to doubt me like this. I can also tell you that all of this was planned by Prince Xian, Xiao Ling. He gained Lu Shi's trust, forcing General Lu Xing to defect. He became a key player in the future palace coup. Xiao Yu glanced at me, then walked into the inner room. Assassins! Several people shouted in alarm. Miss! She's been kidnapped by the villains. Xiao Yu looked at me, in disbelief. It's actually true. He looked towards the direction the people had run off to. After them, I watched the group chase out of the mansion. I hope I'm not too late. Gu Ruoxue insisted I join her for tea. I felt that my business here was done, so I went along. But I also kept my guard up. All the pastries, tea, and wine at this banquet, I didn't touch a single thing. Just one poison, or one drug would be more than enough trouble for me. Xiao Si quietly told me, Miss Lin, The virtuous prince keeps looking your way. It feels off. Better be careful. Also, the little princess was just following you. Be careful of her too. Do I have 3 heads and 6 arms? Historical records say, Princess Xiaochang is not well liked in the palace, and is extremely dependent on Xiaoshen. But various factions in the court are eyeing them closely. Xiaoshen has his own problems, and can't give her much care. So, she's actually quite starved for affection. Guru Ashua knocked over a teacup. The tea spilled all over my dress. It's all my fault for getting injured earlier. I can't even hold a teacup steady. I'll take you to change your clothes. I stopped her. It's fine. Who knows what would happen if I went with her? I just need to wait in the crowd for the gathering to end. But I didn't expect a child carrying a basin of water, almost splashing me with it. Zhao Si grabbed the child's wrist, but the child suddenly collapsed and fainted. Several people rushed out. They caught Zhao Si. Young master, you injured the young master. Come with us to see the master. A whip cracked on the table, shattering several teacups. Xiaochang glared fiercely. Let's see who dares. I stood up as well. This matter is suspicious. We should summon the imperial physician first. I don't believe it. Would the prime minister's residence sacrifice a mere illegitimate son, for the sake of some so-called plan? Suddenly, another person held a teacup, intending to splash it on me. I couldn't dodge in time, but Xiaochang suddenly stepped in front of me, blocking the scalding tea. Now you won't hold a grudge about me wanting to hit you earlier, right, sis-in-law? She said. There are too many things wrong with this. Xiaochang's neck was already red and swollen. Now she really had to go change her clothes. In the inner room, I helped rinse her neck with water. My body grew weaker and weaker. Wait, it seems. I looked at the lit incense beside me. Careless, I quickly doused it with water. While I was still conscious, I managed to straighten out Xiaochang's clothes and hid her under the bed. You're a tough one to kill. Xiaoling's voice slithered out like a snake. I felt something cold touch my cheek. Damn it, get your filthy hands off me. But I couldn't make a sound. A pawn like Lu Shi isn't as useful as you are. Lin. Luo, if I use you to threaten Xiaoshen, do you think he'd give up his throne? When I woke up again, I was locked in a small woodshed. The shed was dark, with rats scurrying about. It was silent, and empty. Not long after, someone else was thrown in. Zhao Si. I called out to him. He struggled to open his eyes. Miss Lin. He slowly crawled over to me. Princess Xiaochang caused a huge scene at the Prime Minister's residence. Now the Emperor is here. I was about to go out, but some men grabbed me and threw me in here. Don't move. He's injured, and he's bleeding heavily. The battle must have been far worse than he described. If Xiaoshen were to face Xiaoling now, I wonder what his chances would be. I also don't know if Xiaoyu has rescued Lu Shi yet. As long as Lu Xing hasn't defected to Xiaoling, there's still hope. According to historical records, 1 year after Xiaoling ascended the throne, once he consolidated his power, he secretly had Lu Xing killed. If not for Lu Shi, General Lu Xing would not have been loyal to Xiaoling. Xiaoshen has now openly broken with Xiaoling. In the imperial palace, in the main hall, he looks at Xiaoling. If anything happens to Lin Yinluo, I'll have your head. He has placed the Empress Dowager under house arrest. Xiaoling's eyebrow twitches violently. She is your foster mother. Xiaoshen, don't you forget, when you usurped the throne, what she did for you. Without her, do you think you could have taken this position? Xiaoshen said calmly. If you want your birth mother to be safe, give us Lin Yinluo in exchange. Right now, Xiaoshen's power isn't fully developed yet, but Xiaoling's plans aren't complete either. If the two sides go to war, it's 50-50. Xiaoyu fanned himself with a folding fan. Xiaoling, do you think my brother is the kind of man who'd risk his own safety and ours for a woman? All this talk about handing over the throne. If he really did, Xiaoling would slaughter everyone without mercy. You've captured Lin Yinluo, but you'd have been better off taking me. I'm more useful. Xiaoshen gave him a cool look. Xiaoyu fell silent. The two sides stood at a standoff. Turns out 80% of the palace staff have been replaced by Xiaoling's loyalists. After the assassin incident at Yangxin Hall that day, Xiaoshen secretly dealt with the suspicious ones. A complete purge of the palace. Now it's 50-50. Suddenly, someone came to report. General Lu has arrived. Xiaoling's eyes light up. He's here to help me. Lu Shi is clad in armor. Seeing Xiaoyu, his eyes light up as well. Your Highness. Lu Xing kneels on the ground, bowing towards Xiaoshen. I, your servant, have arrived too late to your aid. Xiaoling, General Lu, are you kneeling to the wrong person? The one who communicated with you before was me. Lu Xing stands up. He raises his hand, pointing at Xiaoling. Seize him. A fierce battle ensues. Xiaoling sees the situation is hopeless. He tries to escape in the chaos. Xiaoyu presses an iron fan to his neck. Tell me, where is Lin Yinluo? If you dare lie, we'll chop you into mincemeat to feed the flies. Xiaoling laughs. What does it matter if the situation is hopeless? If anything happens to me, Lin Yinluo loses his head. He looks at Xiaoshen. My dear elder brother, the Emperor, you'll have nightmares, won't you? Lu Xing kneels on the ground. Your Majesty, I have failed you. I wish to atone for my crime. The military camp has 18 interrogation methods. In just half an hour, the wise prince will talk. Xiaoshen, Granted. Screams filled the main hall. A report came in. Prime Minister Gu Ruoxue has confessed. Xiaoxun rushed out instantly, to the Prime Minister's estate. Xiao Yu. Oh, man, I'm left to clean up this mess. I struggled to free myself in the woodshed. Xiao Si, are you done yet? Have you untied the ropes? Miss Lin, just a moment. Wait until the ropes are off. Half an hour had already passed. I quickly turned around, wanting to help Xiao Si with his ropes, only to find them soaked through with blood. Xiao Si's wounds were deep, down to the bone. The ropes were deeply embedded in his flesh. No wonder he was so weak trying to untie them. Hang in there. I'll get help right away. It's no use. Xiao Si gave me a weak smile. I failed to protect the young lady. I've let down His Majesty's trust. He's just like Li Wu, both pushed out by corruption. Should have been the martial arts champion. To bring honor to his family. Chancellor Xiaoling and the Empress Dowager won't let Xiaoxun recruit real talent, so they rigged every step of the process. Xiaoxun has no backing, with no one to back him up. He's powerless to fight it. He could only recruit those who failed due to corruption, but he couldn't offer them official posts or titles like those recruited through proper channels. Li Wu resents Xiaoxun. As for Xiao Si, he smiled faintly. Everyone who left with me went home, but I entered the palace, served His Majesty, and died a worthy death. Someone was approaching the woodshed. I glanced at Xiao Si. His eyes were already closed. He'd breathed his last. I covered his face with straw. Wait for me. I slipped out quietly, and bumped right into someone. A familiar scent enveloped me completely. Xiaoxun held me tight. Lin Yinluo. I almost couldn't breathe. I pushed him away. Xiao Si is still inside. We need to save him now. Xiaoxun had brought imperial physicians with him. The physicians rushed in with their medical kits. Heavens, these wounds are severe. I asked, can he be saved? Others couldn't, but I can. 1 moment later, and it might have been too late. I breathed a sigh of relief. Xiaoxun checked me over carefully from head to toe. Are you hurt? I shook my head. He hugged me tightly again. He rested his chin on top of my head, and nuzzled it. Lin Yinluo. I was so worried. I know. I could feel his heart racing, fast and strong. Lin Yinluo, you're my lucky star. After hearing what I had to say earlier, Xiaoxun immediately launched an investigation, and indeed uncovered many hidden dangers. He found General Lu Xing. In casual conversation, they mentioned Lu Xing's illustrious military achievements. His father Lu Yuan, who had defended the border for the empire his entire life, conspired to kill General Lu Yuan. It was the proposal of the virtuous Prince Xiaoling. He pushed that secret memorial in front of Lu Xing. Tears streamed down Lu Xing's aged face. He faced Xiaoxun, and knelt on the ground. The already fragile alliance between Lu Xing and Xiaoling crumbled from that moment on. That explains why, only a year after Xiaoling ascended the throne, he was so eager to kill the general who put him there. Perhaps the secret got out. Xiaoxun went to see the Empress Dowager again. Xiaoxun poured a cup of tea for the Empress Dowager. We've never sat down for tea so calmly before. I used to hate you. The hand with which the Empress Dowager held the teacup trembled slightly. Later, you helped me. I couldn't understand it. Why did you support my ascension back then, and not Xiaoling's? The Empress Dowager smiled. Because you're more suited to be emperor than Linger. Xiaoxun set the teacup down on the table, a bit too loudly. The Empress Dowager was startled. Later, I figured it out. Xiaoxun looked at her. Because no matter who you supported back then, I would have ended up on the throne. If you had supported Xiaoling, I wouldn't have spared your life, let alone listen to you. Spare Xiaoling's life. The Empress Dowager's face, instantly, went completely pale. No, you've got it all wrong. I genuinely wanted to put you on the throne. Really? Xiaoxun raised a hand. A flurry of letters scattered across the table. Linger, be patient. Your mother is already making plans. Everything is under control. Within a year, Xiaoxun will be dead. Xiaoxun smashed the cup. Over a dozen people rushed in. The Empress Dowager is plotting a rebellion. Take her to Sinang Palace under house arrest. It's incredible. A problem that seemed so difficult was resolved just like that. I'm packing my bags, heading home. Xiaoxun is standing outside the well. He asks, when will you be back? I smile at him. Depends on the situation. Over there, with phones and fried chicken. Novels and games are way better than the palace scheming. Xiaoxun steps forward. He pulls me in and kisses me, and even bites my shoulder hard. I won't allow it. You have to think of me all the time. Remember me. Before this mark fades, come see me. Xiao Yu and Lu Xi are laughing nearby. I'm a bit embarrassed and annoyed. I push him away. Going back. All lovey-dovey. I jump into the well. Over there, university is about to start. I went to the city library again. The books about the Shao dynasty are right there, but the content has changed. Jiang Shua adjusts his glasses. The previous information was wrong. The Shao dynasty does exist. It just doesn't match the official or unofficial histories at all. It's been corrected now. Oh, archaeologist. They also found someone with the exact same name as you. You can take a look. I flipped to the last page. Emperor Xiaoxing of the Shao dynasty. His rule was just, and the nation prospered. For 25 years. he took a commoner, Lin Ilua, as his empress. They were a harmonious couple, and passed away peacefully. Xiao Chang went to Gu Ruoshue's dungeon cell. He used a golden hairpin to slowly carve into Gu Ruoshue's face. I remember everything now. Now I'm giving it back to you. Gu Ruoshua committed suicide out of guilt. After leaving the dungeon, Xiao Chang saw me, and quickly hid the hairpin. Your Majesty. I pretended not to see it. In my past life, before I went to the city wall, I actually saw Xiao Chang. He was lying in the palace, his face slashed and disfigured. His clothes were in disarray. I looked, but I couldn't see clearly. It's you. Are you here to laugh at me? Do you think, if the emperor dies, and if I wanted to join him in death, would he find me ugly, find me filthy? I helped straighten his clothes. No. Xiao Chang is pure. This time, he died before Xiao Shen. He took his own life. I couldn't save him. Xiao Chang still seemed a bit uneasy. She tried to hide the blood-stained hem of her skirt. I patted her shoulder. Come home for dinner. It suddenly hit me. When Xiao Chang was on her deathbed, I held her in my arms. She stared at me intently. Blood trickled from the corner of her mouth. I didn't believe you. I've reaped what I sowed, and I've harmed my brother. So it was Xiao Chang who hid that note. I looked at Xiao Chang, who was trying to sneak closer to me. It doesn't matter anymore. That day, I went to the basement as usual, loaded with food and toys. I almost got caught by Mom. Everyone else is trying to get out. Why are you always heading to the basement? You're not eloping with someone, are you? I had just crawled out of the well, when I was nearly blinded by the festive red decorations. What's the occasion? Xiao Shen wrapped his arm around my waist. Our occasion. The emperor is crowning his empress. The whole kingdom celebrates. A 3-day amnesty is granted, except for the chancellor, the empress dowager, and Xiao Ling. Xiao Ling doesn't have a single patch of unbruised skin on his body. Yet he's still talking tough. All this glory should have been mine. Why hasn't the Empress Dowager sent me any meat or wine? Nothing but plain rice porridge every day. Are they trying to starve me to death? I am the Empress Dowager's prime minister. How foolish I was. Xiao Xing insisted on asking to bring the betrothal gifts home. We prepared pile after pile, but in the end, only one bronze vessel actually made it back. When my mom saw it, she asked, "Where did this come from?" My dad put on his glasses. "It looks real. But why does it look so new?" My dad turned it over to the state. The state awarded him a Good Citizen medal. He bragged about it in the neighborhood group chat for 3 whole months. That night, they asked me where it came from. I cleared my throat. "Your son-in-law gave it to me." One day, my mom suddenly shouted, "Thief!" I grabbed an iron rod and rushed over, and saw Xiao Shen. My iron rod clattered to the ground. I hurriedly pulled my mom away, who was beating Xiao Shen. "Let me introduce you. This is your son-in-law, Emperor of the Xiao dynasty, Xiao Shen, and these are my parents."